and welcome to your 5th Roblox with scripting tutorial. Today we're going to go over something called returns. Two things you need to know about returns are that, one, when you use a return in a function, it stops executing. That means it stops in its tracks. Nothing happens after the line that return is on. Two, say you want to get a variable or a value out of a function. You're going to use a return to do that and help store that variable or value. And you'll see what I mean in just a minute. Here I have some code from our last video about arguments and parameters. We have a function called add that prints what x plus y equals. We have the parameters x and y. Now I'm going to call the function add and set our arguments to 3 and 5. We're going to play and it'll print 8 here because 3 plus 5 equals 8. Now we're going to try to return x plus y. It'll still say 8 because that's what this function does. We're going to change that to finding sum because this is what it is. It's finding the sum of x and y. Okay, now it just prints finding sum. It doesn't add anything, even though we have both our parameters and arguments. Our arguments and parameters. Okay, so first I'll demonstrate how a return stops a function. Now we're gonna print finding sum and then say that x plus y equals 8. We'll print that. No. Okay. And now we're gonna print sum found since we found the sum, but oh wait, there's a red error line under that first print right there. What's that mean? It says expected end to close function at line 1 got print. This means that the script Roblox Lua expected an end on this line to close the function that we have on line 1, but instead it got a request to print something. Let's see what happens. Nothing happens. Nothing's in the output of use to us. That's because it's not going to print either of these things because essentially the script did not find the sum yet because we tried to store a variable right here and a return just naturally stops the script dead in its tracks. A function dead in its tracks, not the whole script. A function. So nothing past this even exists, essentially. Even though it says we found the sum and we have the parameters and the arguments, it's weird. So now we're going to try to find a way to print x and y now, 3 and 5. Now we're going to do what I said earlier, and we're going to try to get a value or a variable out of a function. We're going to set the function to a variable. We're going to make the function into a variable by saying a equals add 3 and 5. We tried to call the function, that didn't work, so now we're going to see if it works if we set it to a variable and do the function. This is pretty much the same as saying a equals 8, but we're gonna try to print no, we're gonna print a equals 8. Okay, it printed a equals 8 because a equals 8 because this line right here says so. This line here says so too, pretty much, but since we returned, it's not gonna do anything. Okay, enough of that. I'm gonna show you how this works. We're gonna set it to a variable, and then we're going to try to print A. Hey, it finally worked. It printed 8. Because 3 plus 5 equals 8. So what did we just do? We made a function called add that adds x and y. We said print finding sum, and then we returned x and y. This didn't work. Calling the variable didn't work. So we made it, calling the function didn't work, that is, sorry, and then we made it into a variable to print. So we achieved our goal of printing 8 because 3 plus 5 equals 8. That's pretty much, in basics, how you use a return to give you a value. Let's try to do something else. Let's try to print, no, we're going to say b equals 4. Now we're going to try to do print a plus b. No, wait, 4 plus. See if that works. Wait, yeah, I didn't think so, because workspace script line 8 attempted to perform arithmetic on a nil value. In B, we set the variable b, we tried to add 4 plus nil. That didn't make sense at all, because there's nothing to add. Now I'm going to try something new and say 4 plus 5. Okay. Now we're going to try to... No. Okay, I was just experimenting a little bit there. But yeah, that's basically how you store a variable store a function as a variable, get a variable out of a function. I was going to try to show you an example there, but that didn't work out. We'll definitely use returns in the future, when we make functions in the future, and I'll show you how it actually, per se, works in coding, because right now it might not make any sense to you. Like, stopping in the middle of a function might not make sense to you, but it's useful, it really is. Say you have a conditional function, and a conditional function I don't think is an actual term, I'm just saying that because your function contains a condition. Say that you have a minigame and you want the round to end whenever everyone's dead, but you have a wait in there that it waits 300 before it actually 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes, before it actually ends the round, does whatever it does to end the round. It'll wait 5 minutes to do that, but that's only in the case that not everybody is dead and there's no winner. Let's say there's sword fighting. Yeah, nobody's dead and there's no winner. Not everyone's dead and there's no winner. Sorry, I'm just scrambled tonight. And sorry about that, my phone rang. I have to stop recording in like 2 minutes, so I'll try to finish up this explanation really quickly. So you want the round to end in 5 minutes. That's only if there's no winner and not everybody's dead. But let's say there's one person left standing who's killed everybody else at halfway through. It's 150 seconds. It's 2.5 minutes. You'll want to end the round before that because you don't want to keep everybody just standing around waiting. You're going to want to return the winner of that round as a value, a string. We'll go more into that later. I've already showed you what strings are. But yeah, you're going to want to end that round early because you don't want to keep everyone waiting. You're going to want to use the value that it returns, which is the winner, to end the round. Hopefully that helped you understand returns better. I have to go now. Please like the video if it helped. Post in comments if you have questions. I know this is, it might not look so confusing now because I simplified it, but it can be a confusing subject, confusing topic. So post in comments if you have questions. Hopefully gonna start a new segment to my channel, another playlist about requests. If scripting or building requests, you want me to make something, just post in comments and I'll show you how to make it, basically. More info on that in the next video. So thank you. Please subscribe, like if you learned something, post in comments if you have questions. Good night.